Amazing characters like E.T. the Extraterrestrial and others were found on large projection screens in movie theaters throughout the world. But there was another screen that you could find characters just like these in your very own home. And the technology in those televisions were very, very interesting to find out and to explore. What's that noise? Hey, what are you doing? Hey everybody, we have ourselves a Sony KV53V75, and it is a beaut built back in 1999. It's a CRT style television, and I am excited to get into this device to check out some of the features that we've seen back in those old great standards. But let's start off here in the front. Of course, you've got the main 53-inch television screen, and of course you've got clicky buttons. You got power, channel, volume. There's a little flappy do right there on the side, and that way you can get yourself a picture-in-picture. Yeah, this is for picture-in-picture right here. What we call the yellow plug. And of course, in the very bottom, my favorite, the speakers. It's gonna be lovely. I tell you what, how about we switch to the back and we can look at some of those connections that used to exist back before the pre-2000s. Ready for the turn, here we go. Awesome, so the back end of our Sony is going to be where you get to plug in all of these things. I want to take a closer look at this because this brings me back to the days when I used to be sitting back behind the TV trying to plug things in, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. Now you can plug it into the sides. That's boring. This is the adventurous stuff. What do you know? Thank you. So over here you've got your cable, got your coax connections. You've got a few other things. Anytime you see red and white, that's gonna be your audio, it's gonna be your sound, your left and your right. And of course, lastly over here, that's just a dedicated direct audio for a center channel speaker. So those are going to be our hookups. And now it's time for us to get into our television. Nice. Hey everybody, now that we got the back opened, let's take a quick look at the components. On the very bottom are going to be the electronics. They tell the TV what to do, okay? One of the awesome aspects, the thing I'm excited about, are these three things. They are the CRTs, the cathode ray tubes, and they are what allow the picture to work. You also have the screen back here. There's a Fresnel lens amongst some other things as well. And finally, right above here is going to be a mirror, big old giant mirror. It's why these TVs are so big, because of that mirror. So this device, the CRT component, the cathode ray tube, starts down here in the base section. And down here is essentially an element, like from an old school light bulb. And it heats up and it shoots electrons up through this device. It's surrounded by these magnets, so the electrons get shot up towards essentially some fancy magnets. In fact, right behind here is an electromagnet, and that electromagnet then accelerates the electrons up through, and it goes faster and faster up into this housing area where there's a colorization that happens, and then there's a focusing lens as well. So this entire device times 3 are these giant electron guns that shoot color, and of course that shoot the information for the image up towards this mirror right here.
All right, so Denzel talked a little bit about these cool tubes and these electron gun things. Well, brass tacks, you've got one in the center that shoots straight up. You've got the other two focused slightly inward to give one single image. Now, with this kind of a throw range, if you had the projectors back here, just shooting that way, not far enough. But because we shoot straight up into that mirror, and then off the mirror into the Fresnel lens, we can actually cover the entire screen. And Denzel was pointing out to me, because, well, he's kind of a nerd, that this isn't actually one big image. It's actually a series of lines, and they're drawn from the top to the bottom, from left to right, and they actually go 60 times per second across the entire screen. So if you're able to videotape or record one of these old screens and play it back in super slow motion, you'd actually be able to see those lines be drawn for every single picture. It's amazing. It's like animation, but completely different.
I can hear it. So you're blocking one of the colors right now.
I'm actually blocking 2 of the colors.
Yeah, so all 3 of those colors will combine together to give you white. And if you were to change any of those by covering them up, you no longer have that color spectrum in your image, and it results in a different outcome. So right now, there's probably only blue light coming through. Now only red, now only green. But if you cover up, let's say, just cover up blue, what do we get? We should get, yes, we should get yellow. Okay, cover up just red, okay, you've covered up green, yes?
Yes.
Yes, and now you've covered up red. So, this is so cool. Why did we ever get rid of these things? So that's an overlook at this CRT TV, and it's awesome. We'd love to take more of it apart, but I tell you, there's a lot of screws inside of there, and it would take a little bit too long. So Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you can take care of old TVs, and of course safety when dealing with them.
That's right. There is a safety issue. There's a lot of liquids. There's actually liquids in here that act for cooling. There's other gases and things that can be in some of the tubes and some of the electronics. And one part down here on the electronics board, there's things that can actually hold power for up to 3 days and give you a nice little reminder of why not to be trying this at home. So I'm first going to unplug this. Now, if you have one of these at home and it's not working anymore, you've upgraded to something a little bit newer than 1999 technology, and you want to know what to do with it, don't just throw it in the dump. Check with your county, see if there's an e-waste disposal site near you where you can take electronics, TVs, computers, other things like that, where they can be recycled, taken apart down to their barest parts. And they will take it off your hands and make sure that it's properly disposed of, because we do want to take care and not just fill up our landfills with things that are never going to dispose or that will actually poison or hurt the animals or the earth. Right. So we want to take care of all those things. We're going to take care of this one and make sure that it gets properly disposed of in a recycling manner. But we had a lot of fun taking apart this TV, really getting into the focus of how these work. Anyway, they don't screen my jokes.
That's 2.
Sorry.
That's 2.
Yeah, it went down the tubes, didn't it?
Okay, well, 3 are cut off. So thank you everybody so much for checking this out, and go ahead and look into the technology of the TVs and your home as well.